Hey, before I kick off the podcast, I just want to shout out Next Door Clothing. Next Door, a clothing brand based out of Bondi in Sydney. They're making really nice jeans and shirts and hats. So go and check out their full range at nextdoorsydney.com. They're also artists, so you can go and check out a range of art. They put on rad parties, and I love what they're doing. So nextdoorsydney.com for the full range. Hey, it's Shan here. This week I speak with Jamie Mullarkey. Jamie, the Hooligan Mullarkey, is a UFC fighter. He's had many fights in the UFC. He's somewhat of a veteran of MMA in Australia. He's been competing professionally since around 2013. He's had fights before that as well in his amateur career. And he's just a really down-to-earth, nice guy. It's almost funny because when you see him in the Octagon, he's a complete savage. You know, he's one of those really entertaining fighters that likes to keep it on the feet and just sort it out through striking, you know, punches, kicks, elbows, knees, and that's entertaining. It really is. And throughout the podcast, I was kind of trying to tease out of him, like, why are you such a savage when you get in the ring? Like, where does that come from? And I was alluding to things like, did you have a traumatic childhood? Did you get bullied at school? And he's just like, nah, you know, I had a great childhood and great family. I just love the game. But he also sort of makes reference to his Irish heritage and that maybe, you know, it's the fighting Irish in him as well, which is pretty funny. I'm joined by Jarrett Wilbraham this week, who's also a professional fighter. He has a big championship title down in Melbourne. It's a Hex title. So he sits in with us this week as a co-host, and which is fantastic to have him around. I've been training at the freestyle fighting gym where Jamie and Jarrett are doing their fight camps for their up and coming fights, and there's numerous other fighters at that gym who have big fights in February, and it's just been so epic being around that energy, you know, like just being around champions, elite athletes of the highest caliber. They interest me because they remind me of skateboarders. Like, they're constantly problem solving, strategizing and breaking it down, and very supportive of one another and helping them on their way. And I think that's why that gym in particular is becoming regarded as the best MMA fighting gym in the world. It's produced, you know, the pound-for-pound UFC champion Alexander Volkanovski, who also has almost like what could be regarded as like a fairy tale fight at UFC284. He's the main card. He's fighting a beast of a man from Dagestan, and you know, Alex is going for his second title in a weight division above his regular weight division, and it's just got this like Rocky IV vibe, you know, like when Rocky fights Ivan Drago. So, like I said, it's kind of got this fairy tale vibe, you know. It's how movies are made. So it's a super exciting time, and like I said, it's a gnarly energy to be around. And I'm going to have a few fighters on in the next few weeks from that gym who, like I said, they're athletes who obviously are taking control of their physical aspect, their mental aspect, and also their spiritual aspect. I'm starting to discover, because with this sport, you know, there's obviously a high demand on them physically, but they're also dealing with really heavy emotions as well. You know, they're dealing with like fear, they're dealing with overexcitement, they're dealing with aggression, they're dealing with anger, and like these are emotions they have to manage. So there's a high emotional intelligence required to be good at the sport. And then, like, for example, in Jamie's incidents, it's like he's fighting in the UFC, which is like, you know, a global platform being watched by millions of people, and you know, you got to harness that pressure and channel it into winning that fight and performing well. So it's great to hear his perspective on it. So I hope you enjoy it, and as always, I'm doing it for the kids. So enjoy. Terrible happy talks. Terrible happy talks.
Yeah, good to be you, man.
Whoa.
Dude, I'm
Three, two, one. Alright, do this. Is it like from numerous nose breaks?
Yeah, just the cartilage in there. Just
How many times do you reckon you've had your nose broken?
Oh, I've actually never had a full break, eh? I've just had just fractures. Couple of different fractures.
Yeah, right. But enough to like stop the breathing from happening.
Yeah.
So funny, dude.
I can't wait to have that surgery where they like clean your nose out.
Oh, what do they call that? Like when you got a deviated septum.
Yeah, that's when people get it. But I think you can. I don't know if I've got a deviated septum. I don't think I do. But when they clean all that cartilage out, like apparently your first night's sleep's just like so good.
It's like I can breathe again. I'm getting oxygen. I wonder how much it inhibits your training though, because of the lack of oxygen, or the oxygen you could be getting.
Nah, just don't worry about it.
You don't think about it.
Yeah,
Are you a mouth breather?
Yeah.
Do you reckon that makes you more vulnerable to getting knocked out though in a fight?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
If you're like full jaw open.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. You got a pretty solid jaw though. Hey?
It is it's a big one.
Dude, man, it's so sick to have you here. I was just saying earlier.
This is mad.
I'm just like, what a bunch of legends I'm with today. Jamie Mullarkey, Jarrett Wilbraham, and resident photographer, Mr. Peter Barmer. I'm like, dude, good vibes. The vibes are high. But I was saying to Jamie, like, I've got to play this song. I just got to play it. Here he goes. Yes. Here he is, the Hooligan.
That's the one.
Jamie, man, listen, I want to get straight into it today. Tell us about UFC 284. What's going on with you right now?
I'm currently booked for the big card over in Perth, UFC 284.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Just got to get an opponent. That's what we're waiting on now. But, soon. Soon I'll have that.
Are you calling anyone out?
Yeah, I called out one guy, Grant Dawson. He's actually in the top 15, and I didn't know that when I called him out. I just want to fight him, man, because I just don't really like him.
On a personal level?
No, it's not personal. I just I've seen his fights, and he's good. 100% he's good, but I think it's a great stylistic matchup for me. And then the thing I didn't like about him, the first thing I ever saw of him, I was like, oh, this guy's like young, lightweight, and he won his fight. I don't know if it was on Contender Series or the Dana White show, but he won his fight, and then he went up to Dana White, like Dana's sitting next to the cage, and he goes up and goes, oh, Dana, can you follow me on Instagram? Can you please follow me on? I'm like, this fucking guy, man. This is this new age, bro. This new age of fucking into Instagram fighters. I'm like,
as I post to Instagram as you speak.
No, it's 100%. You have to use Instagram. You have to be on it, but just don't get caught up in that shit, you know. And I just straight off the bat, I didn't like him. So yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah,
and like you said, stylistically, you think it'd just be a good show.
Yeah, I do, and I respect his abilities 100%. But that's the fight I want. He's a good fighter. I think he's only lost one fight.
Is it really hard in training camp when you don't have an opponent yet, so you don't know what to focus on?
A little bit, but man, I like to just focus on myself. But for sure, you wanna know as far out as you can to get the style to prepare for. Yeah,
it would help. Hey,
yeah.
I mean,
at this level, for sure.
You're training at a freestyle gym at the moment, in the same training camp as a bunch of fighters. I mean, namely Alexander Volkanovski is a main event on UFC 284. So, you know, it seems that there's been a big focus on his wrestling game because he's going up against Islam. Is that something that you've just adapted to as well, being part of that?
Yeah, well, my gym's Central Coast MMA up on the Central Coast with Rossi Pearson.
Yeah,
and we're a striking friendly gym.
Yeah, and
coming down with the guys at freestyle, it's so good for the grappling and wrestling base.
So just getting the balance here.
Yeah, really. I've filled a lot of, I've improved in a lot of holes in my game for sure.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
You'd be considered a veteran of MMA. So you've had, how many fights have you had? 15 professional fights, is it?
No, it's 19.
19 professional fights.
Yeah, I'm pretty
So
sure.
what year was your first one?
My first pro fight was 2013.
2013, man.
Yeah.
What a career.
Yeah, that was up in Townsville. Fought a guy, Luke Hume, and he had a lot more fights than me, and went up to his hometown and took him out with 1 second left.
Yeah.
1 second left on the clock.
3 rounds?
No,
five?
in the first round. Wow. Yeah, and I was coming in.
So what? 4 minutes 59.
Yeah, I was coming in like a cocky little cunt too, like going, I'm gonna take him out, it's this and that, and then I kind of heard him and I saw he was hurt, so I just went fuck it and just went elbows, and the ref stopped it.
Wow.
Poor bloke, but he was a legend. We went out and got on the piss after that. Out in
Together.
Townsville, yeah,
Nice, man.
And we were walking down the road, like past a group of fellas, and they threw a cigarette butt at, because my other mate Ben Games, he fought the same night, and he fought a guy from Luke's gym. So we both went out on the piss together, and he threw a ciggy butt at Craig. Craig Callahan's his name, and then Ben and him started fucking pushing and shoving with those guys. It was just fights and fucking good times, and great times.
Like let's fast forward. Like if you compare yourself to the Jamie Mullarkey of 2013 to the Jamie Mullarkey of 2022, how would you describe the change in yourself as a fighter and as a human?
I'd describe it. I'm a lot more confident in myself. For sure. Even though I was like buzzing with confidence but it's just the experience, man. Just the experience has just taught me so much.
Do you think that breeds the confidence?
Yeah, and that's still going. That's still just never really stops. But yeah, and just I'm just fucking happy. Just happy doing this.
Still.
Oh yeah.
After all these years,
you have to.
Is that same passion still there from like 2013 to now? Like from that first day, that first fight, knowing you were going to have a fight, are you still getting the same, I guess, for lack of a better term, like stoke? Are you still stoked on it?
Yeah, like I guess you could say it comes and goes, but for sure, like you just have to love it to be in it for a long time. I would think you got to love this sport because there's so many fucking ups and downs and things in between. So yeah.
What's your headspace like though at the moment? You're around, what is it? Around a month from the next a bit longer, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Till what's your headspace like? Are you up and down at the moment, or you're pretty level-headed?
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty level-headed because, like, people ask me all the time, "Are you pumped?" And I am pumped for sure. For sure, I'm pumped. But like, I don't know about you, Jarrett, but I don't really get pumped until like a couple of days before the fight. Then it starts to, and like at weigh-ins, when you're
I'm the
standing.
same. Yeah.
I'm like, I've done it so many times now, or like a fair few times, and yeah, I just don't get pumped until I'm like there. Then you start feeling a lot more, But of course, I'm pumped and I'm motivated. I'd say more motivated right now.
Nice.
And then the pump feelings come on fight week, I reckon.
Yeah, I respect that about you because I've been like 4 weeks out from a fight and I'm in my own head when I don't have an opponent. Like I'm complaining about it, whinging about it, and you're just so stoic, and I think that comes with your experience. Yeah. So I really respect that, man. I can't say I'm as level-headed when I've been in your situation before.
Yeah, no, cheers, man. But yeah, that's it. Like we're just a bunch of fighting dogs. You just got to fight who they tell you to fight. That's it.
That's it.
Fighting dogs, I love it. I've got a bunch of questions. I want to sort of hit you with. I'm a fan. I've been watching you over the years, and I really, for most people, they're never going to experience that feeling of walking out to a UFC event. Let's face it, it's so unique for someone to experience. So, can you describe to us, the process of you preparing backstage and then coming out, walking out, and the feelings that are sort of, evoked within you when it all happens?
It's like from fighting on the local shows to UFC, so much more prepared. Like, it's so much more professional and just on time and really, really well run. Like, it's such a cool thing to be a part of. And yeah, man, walking out and like the backstage, we usually, what do? I don't really have a routine or nothing, but half hour, 40 minutes out, I start like just getting loose, having a bit of a stretch, talking shit all the time.
With the coach?
Yeah, they're my coach, my brother. My brother usually corners me as well.
Okay.
And yeah, we're just cool, calm, collected, and then when we start having a light move, and then just start flipping that switch a little bit, and they come and tell you, you got 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, and then I'm just like, it's just like a relief for me. It's a massive relief when I just start like going, because it's like all this training, all this. It's such a big moment. It's finally here, and I know how much I've prepared. I know how ready I am. So it's just like a really good fucking feeling walking out and just looking at my opponent and just being there in that moment. I really enjoy that.
You do?
I fucking love it.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Are you at the stage where like that you train so hard that that no fight is ever going to be as hard as the training you do?
Yeah. That's literally why we train that hard. I wouldn't say that it's not going to be as hard, because the fight, like, both guys are fighting for their lives, like literally, like not literally your life, but your livelihood. So no one's going to be lying down for you, but that you've prepared for that. So it's I'm always confident in my preparation. I'm willing to go to that place, and yeah.
Would you do some pads backstage before you walk out too with your coach?
Yeah,
bit of pad work.
Yeah,
get the blood flowing.
Yeah. We crack some good pads, like 5-10 minutes before we're walking out. Get a good sweat going.
Yeah.
And my first coach, Noel Magnus, he always said, like, when you feel ready to sprint, like you're charged and ready to, like, you could sprint 150 meters.
Yeah.
He said, like, we just back off.
Yeah.
Just back off then and just keep warm and go do your thing.
That fight in the UFC Apex with Johnson, what was his first name? Johnson?
Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson, yeah.
Yeah.
What a war that thing was, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's break it down a little bit. I mean, when you got that decision, like, how was the sense of relief? Like, I was relieved as well.
Yeah, man, you saw it on my face. Like, but I think both of us thought we won, like, right before, because that was a war.
Was he the toughest guy you've ever fought?
Nah.
No.
I don't know. But he was fucking tough, eh? I remember, like, there's been many fights when, like, the guy you're fighting gives you a sign, like, he wants out.
Yeah, you see it.
And I saw that, and compared to his experience, so I had a good chat with him when we were at the hospital together after, but he fucking was he was like out on his feet, and that was the sign. I was like, he wants out right now.
In the Octagon, as you're going at it, you could just sense it in his eyes, in his body posture.
Yeah, body language. Body language is massive. Like, he had his head down and just covering up, and he was just kind of slightly rolling with the punches, but I was like giving it to him, and back against the fence, he just looked like he went. The eyes tell a lot. Like I feel like the eyes just say like they want out right now, and that's what like. You, as a fighter, you feed on it. You just go, fuck, like this is it.
Oh, that's when the killer instinct kicks in, yeah.
100%. And then he didn't like. He just hung in there, and I could hear his coach, Henry Hooft. Is it what's his name? Henry.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it's Hooft. He said, he fucking goes, "You're still there, Michael. You're still there. Just give it, just like." And just that experience, man, of those guys. They've been there so many times. And I asked him at the hospital after, I was like you knew you were so hurt. Were you just knowing that you were okay? And because then I had nothing left for the third round. I emptied the tank trying to put him away, and he was like,
"Couldn't go down, eh?"
Yeah, and he said, yeah, like I've done that in a couple of fights before where I know I'm hurt, and I know that opening up more in this time is just going to risk getting put out. So I just kind of cover up and roll with the shots and let you go because I know that it's only going to last so long. I'm like, fuck, man. It really taught me a lot. It actually taught me heaps. Even like they say that you learn more in your losses, 100% you do. But like I learned so much in that fight because it was such a close fight too.
Yeah, I mean he thought he won it.
Yeah,
as well.
We both did. He said to me before, he goes, "I reckon I got it. What do you reckon?" I said, "Nah, I think I won rounds 1 and 2." It's one of those fights, man. It was a very close fight. I got round two convincingly. He got away on points and volume in round 3, so he got that round. Come down to round 1 where we both clipped each other, and it was such a fucking close. I felt like I did a bit more output in the round. I was initiating the first exchanges more, but bro, it could have gone either way. And I thought OG Michael Johnson in America, like I was thinking they're gonna give it to him for sure, but I've come out my way.
Yeah, man. What did you learn from the loss to Jalen Turner?
Yeah, man, that was a big one. I felt like I learnt like just going off how Jalen performed in there. Composure is just super important.
He was long, that guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, really long.
Was that hard to contend with initially, or?
Yeah. And it gives you things to work on, right? Like getting in at a 6'3" guy. I think I stayed out at his range where he could hit me and I couldn't hit him. So yeah, that's another lesson in the books, and definitely want to get that fight back one day.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's I don't know. Like I just feel like some of the best life lessons come from failure, you know. But I think with fighters such as yourself, these lessons are happening on such a big scale in front of so many people. You know, I don't think many people know what that's like to be exposed like that. But I don't know. You seem pretty calm about it. You don't seem too cut up about it.
Yeah, we are on the world stage, you know. So you just
what you signed up for.
Yeah, it's what you signed up for, and I feel like I've been doing it long enough to be where I'm at and be comfortable being here now. Especially those first few fights, just getting just reassuring you that this is where you belong, you know.
Yeah, yeah, man. How would you describe your childhood?
Man, I had a great childhood. Yeah, man. I had it pretty good. My parents come out from Ireland when they were very young, and worked their fucking butts off and gave me a pretty good childhood, man.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up on the Central Coast, Holgate, Central Coast.
Central Coast in New South Wales, Australia?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful area.
Coasty, yeah. Sunny coast.
What were you into as a little kid?
Sports, man.
Yeah.
I was a sporty kid.
What sort of sports?
Everything. I played basketball, basketball, soccer, played a bit of rugby, and then cricket.
Cricket?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Bit of a mix.
Nice
Bit of a
one.
mix.
Yeah, and what about, like, your first experience with the martial arts? Like, when did that actually start?
Yeah, so that was in
How old were
I was 14 at the time,
Okay.
and just went straight into a MMA class. Because in the off season of rugby, I'd always get like out of shape, just get unfit. You finish the footy season super fit, and then you go off and fucking come back heaps unfit. I just wanted something to do in the off season, and at the time I was watching Fuel TV, the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Fighter started it for me. Season
Same as
Is
me.
that what you watched?
Yeah, exact same.
season 7, with the one that Amir Sadullah won. I was just like fucking kind of hooked. I was like, yeah, man, this is like insane. I really liked the martial arts side of it though. Like I loved like what the fuck, what's this jiu-jitsu stuff? I've never seen it before. And how guys were, you know, from 1 minute on their back getting the shit punched out of them to wrapping their legs around the guy's neck and choking them unconscious. I was like, fuck. So I just wanted to have fun and take it up as a little bit of a hobby in the off season. And bro, I went in for my first session and learned how to do an armbar. And they put us on the mats at the end of the session. Everyone circled around the mats and put in, like, sort of, it felt like the spotlight a little bit. And I threw this, and it was like a wrestle. And I threw this kid down and fucking armbarred him. And I was like, fuck, this is sick.
Did you just want to armbar everyone from then on in?
Mate, Mum couldn't stop me shadowboxing around the house. Like, I'd be fucking going up there. I was obsessed. I think she caught me sleepwalking one night. Because I used to ride my bike down the gym, and she caught me sleepwalking with my training bag walking out the door. So I'm going training, and it was just like, fucking hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you a hyperactive kid?
Yeah, like just like a normal kid, I'd say. This pretty fucking energetic, and yeah, love getting out and doing stuff. So yeah.
What sort of student were you at school?
Oh, just your typical fucking muck around. I wasn't a bad kid, but I wasn't
Are you sure?
No, I wasn't. Definitely not call me a bad kid, but I wasn't a A-class student either.
Yeah, crazy.
I think that's what we're alluding to. Like, what made you such a savage, man? Because the way that you fight, like, you're the definition of like a proper fighter. Like, mentality is just something crazy, man.
Yeah. I don't know. That's yeah. I think everyone has that, but yeah, I can't explain it. But
I kind of wanted to hear this story of like, I had a really tough childhood, and you know this and that. I was like, no, it's good. It's
Just
cool.
born a hooligan.
yeah. Well, Ross puts it down to me being Irish. He's just like, you just got that fucking Irish cunt in you. That just, yeah. That's what he says. It's just in your blood.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Were you much of a party guy when you were younger?
Nah, well,
Because the Irish love a drink.
Yeah, love a drink. And I do when I can. When it's time to party, I love letting loose. But that's why I'm thankful that I got in this sport, man, because it's just keeps me off that, you know, keeps me on the straight and narrow. And like I always say, the thing I love about fighting the most, when people ask you that, is I like it. You become the best version of yourself. You know what I mean? Like every single time I'm just peaking in fitness, my mind, my body, my spirit, everything is just working together, and you just feel how good you can feel.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever, hey?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. It does keep you on the straight and narrow, like best thing for my life. And you just hear example after example of people in similar situations once they started this sport. So we're so blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I remember you said in your episode, you're like, you know, like just having one beer, I feel like it's going to undo like a week's worth of training. So I just have no desire to do it.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I do, yeah.
like you feel it. Like,
It's
and
poison.
That's why I see you guys at such an elite level. Like, then your bodies are that sensitive that it feels those negative inputs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Yeah, man. Were you like a roughie? Did you have a rough childhood or anything?
Oh, yeah, it was pretty rough growing up in Nowra. Yeah. Lots of fights, lots of partying, lots of putting myself in bad positions, bad places.
Yeah. Okay.
And just like martial arts was when I really grew as a person, helped me grow and just stay out of trouble.
And that just took me on the
good path I'm on now, and I just can't go back because it's shown me the light, I guess.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, so you were introduced to your first fighting gym at the age of 14, and then did you stay with that gym for most of your teen years?
Yeah, so it was a youth fight fitness. Jason Siebert, he's like my brother. Just long term, that's another sick thing. The people you meet in this journey, they just become like your family. I started with him. He was just running a youth fight fitness club, and it was actually it was a free thing. It started as a free thing, and my other coach Noah, they would take troubled youth, and like it's just like goes hand in hand. And I wasn't troubled youth, but I obviously like to have a wrestle and a bit of a punch and get in there, and just started there, just training a couple times a week. Wasn't like, but that started the obsession. Then so I was with Jace for like 2 years, and I kind of progressed because I was obsessed, and he sort of saw that, and like I was getting really good, and he goes, "Well, I think it's time you go up with Noah, the guy that taught me," and went up there, and I was 16 when I went to Noah, and it was like the perfect timing, because Central Coast is small, man, and not many fight gyms, not many like gyms that like had experienced fighters there or anything. I think there was like 1 or 2 jiu-jitsu gyms, and he had like 8 pro fighters at the time, just peaking, just all like in their mid-20s, just savages. And I walked up there, I was like, fuck, this is hectic. I had no idea, just like, it reminded me of Never Back Down. Because that was one of the things that got me into the sport as well.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Never Back Down, it was just like, I was like, wow, this is sick. Yeah. And it reminded me of that when John Roker's got all his fucking students just like pumping iron and throwing each other on the mats. I walked in and seen that, and mate, I was just obsessed. Yeah. And trained with him for a long time. Like through your teens, up to your 20s? Yeah. So Noah.
Sorry to cut you off there. Did you graduate high school?
No, I left in year 11. Started year 11. I just got a trade.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So you were doing an apprenticeship as well as training?
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. So how old were you when you had your first fight then? Like amateur or like how old were you when you had your first proper fight?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was like a short notice, like the boys were all fighting on a it was the only show that ever ran on the coast, tougher promotions, and Noah just like, and still I had no intention of fighting. Like I was getting good, but I was like I still didn't have my heart set on fighting. And Noah just goes, "Oh, do you want to fight in 3 weeks with the boys on a show? It's like an amateur fight," and jumped at that.
Wow,
opportunity. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, was there weight classes for that?
Yeah, we had an agreed weight class. Yeah,
okay,
so,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just trying to keep trying to get a timeline here. So that you went from the first fight at 15, and then training, and just having regular amateur fights up until grade 11 of high school.
I was still just amateur. All the way till I was 19. When I was like 18, 19, I turned pro because I did a pancration tournament. Went to Greece and fought in that. That was pretty fucking cool. Yeah, that was amazing. I'm so glad that I did that because when I started fighting, I was like, yeah, when I hit 18, I'm going pro. But I held off another year just to do that tournament, World Pancration tournament, and that was fucking amazing. Yeah. When represented Australia,
dude.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so that's pretty epic, dude. And it's just like, okay, I'm just really trying to get my head around like just the depth of your career and like how much it's just been so ingrained in who you are as a person. And I can't help thinking like, because you've been surrounded by so many, fighting situations and trained so much, striking and wrestling people constantly, has it made you a violent person, or is it only violence in the ring?
Oh, not at all. Only in the ring.
Like, has it bred a violence within you? That's the question I'm trying to ask.
Well, it's funny when my mate Pocket, he always says when you go into fight camp, you change. It's like you just your posture, the way you look, everything, and you do like I know I do.
Do you find it, Jarrett?
Maybe it's like a testosterone thing.
For sure.
Like you're preparing to fight some guy. Your body's going through these changes. Like
yeah,
right.
Because when I'm not in fight camp, I'm just having fun. I'm just in the gym, but I don't care if I lose a round. Like it doesn't matter. I'm just enjoying my training, and then when fight camp happens, I'm still enjoying all my training, and it's still heaps of fun. But yeah, you flip that switch a little bit, and that's where I reckon that's where like the test levels pump up a bit. You're in the gym and you're fighting for every round. You're like it's. Yeah.
What about outside the gym though? In between training sessions, in when you're out in society in everyday life.
I think I'm too fucked from training to be worried about anything. I've left it all in the gym.
Yeah.
That's what's good about it. Like that's your release. Like a lot of guys, guys and girls, I guess, their release is going and getting fucked up on the weekends, partying. That's fine if you're being cool and nice. That's absolutely fine. My release is. Yeah, usually like for, I don't know, 90% of the year is just that, training.
90% of the year.
And it comes to a point where you need it. Like I need to train.
It's a drug, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, would you describe it as a form of meditation for you?
A form of medicine, I reckon.
Form of medicine.
Yeah. It is like my drug. Like if I don't train, like,
what do you like?
I just get like short-tempered. I get shitty at things because I think it's because I'm just so used to having that like your natural endorphins, everything just like after that session we did this morning. Like fuck, how good do you feel?
So
you feel
good.
so fucking good for like at least 2-3 hours.
But I had moments on that assault bike today where I was like, I think I want to die. I actually fell off it. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Like I was so cooked. Like my legs just gave way.
Fucking oath.
But it's just like you do get addicted to that. You get addicted to that feeling, right?
Yeah, man. Nah, I urge anyone with I always say it, mental health issues, mental illness. I urge you to go to a gym. Doesn't have to be a fucking fight gym. Just go and exercise. Feel how good that makes you feel. I guarantee you a lot of your problems will go away. It'll help 100%.
Would you say that, your mental health has fluctuated at times in your life?
Yeah, I think like a lot of people
Most people do, yeah.
I'm fortunate enough to be, I haven't never stooped very, very low in my mental health. And I think training's a big part of that.
Yeah. Like I know actually some interesting statistics about the Central Coast area. And this is why I kind of want to pry a little bit, is because there's actually, that area has quite a large issue with mental health problems. I don't know if you're aware of that statistically. And so I don't know, like, have you been around people that have really been struggling with that aspect of their life?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah,
you know people?
Times, yeah. Yeah, even mates. I'm so glad I've got a fucking great bunch of mates, and we always like just say to each other, love yous.
Do you talk about your feelings?
Yeah, bro.
Do you?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know how gnarly it is to hear a UFC fighter say that?
Yeah, we've got the group chats on like Facebook and Instagram and that, and yeah, every now and then we just throw it in there, just like fuck. If any of you need to talk, love yous. Fucking just something small like that. I'm big on that, and I feel lucky to have a group of mates that I can be like that with.
Are they part of the Mullarkey army?
Fucking oath they are.
Yes,
Day
sir.
oneers.
Dude, how do I become one of the Mullarkey army people?
Oh man,
What do I have to do?
it's pretty crazy.
Do I have to party with you after your fights and stuff? Like, what do you do?
That's a must, 100%. Yeah, join the clan. Join the clan, 100%.
So, okay, so you went to your early 20s. You know, what was going on then? Like, how old were you when you had your first fight? 20 what? Your first pro fight, first pro fight.
Yeah, I was 19.
19.
Yeah.
And how many fights in did you fight Alexander Volkanovski? Because you fought Volk once, didn't you?
Yeah, I was 9-0.
You were already 9-0 then.
Yep.
Was he your first loss?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
First loss as a pro. I lost one amateur fight to Martin Newitt. He become a double champion, ONE FC.
Right.
He's done very well. And then I lost to Volk as a pro, and fuck, that was massive lesson.
Did you think you were going to win that one though?
Yeah,
because he would have
did.
been less experienced than you for sure.
I did, but to tell you the truth, I didn't, because it was like I run through 9 guys, and I'm like, I'm the fucking best. I told my coach, I was like, I want to fight Alex Volkanovski for the AFC belt.
Really? Like, you were already eyeing him off? Was he? Because he just hit the scene pretty hard, didn't he? Everyone's like, this guy's next level.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Like, but everyone was. He made an impact pretty early.
No one wanted to fight him.
From the get go, right?
Yeah, Jamie fought him. No one else wanted to.
Oh, really?
That's what I remember at the time. Anyway, I could be wrong, but
yeah, I'd say it'd be about right.
he was avoided.
Yeah, because he was struggling to get fights, and he was going to boxing, and I think he had one or two.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah,
and that was around that time. And I got offered the fight, and I was like, yeah. And I talked to my coach, and he's like, it's a big fucking fight. And I remember he said, he said, I'll back him no matter what. But he said, if you keep putting your head out, like you're just gonna get chopped one day, like you know that, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I learned so much then. I was coming into the fight like a little cocky, just a young fucking 21-year-old or whatever I was. And I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, I feel like I'm better than him everywhere. But that's what you got to do when you're going in to fight the number one guy in Australia. I wasn't gonna go in and be like, I wasn't disrespectful, but yeah, I was trying to pump myself up to go in with this fucking animal. And yeah, that taught me like so much about where you have to be up here.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
so like confident but not cocky.
Yeah, a little bit, A little bit, like keep yourself grounded.
Yeah.
Because I think I was, the like fake it till you make it sort of thing. It's not like I wasn't fully that, but I was telling myself what I wanted to hear. And then on the fight night, I was like, fuck, this guy. I was like
at what stage
I just want this to be over.
I was going to say, at what point did you realise, like, oh shit, I'm a little bit in over my head here? Was it
real,
in the first round, straight away in the first round, or what?
Nah, just before we walked out.
Really?
Yeah,
like it hit you before you even started?
Yeah. I was just, and that's where that's where fighters tell you decide if you win or lose. Up here, you've got to be on. You've got to be on. And
why did it change though as you're walking out? Like, why did all of a sudden, you said you were confident, but why did all of a sudden you realise, like, oh shit, what have I done?
Because it's real. Because you're there.
Okay.
And that's I sometimes say that to our amateur guys as well. Don't take this sport lightly, because it's going to be real.
Would that be? Is that your advice to Jarrett?
Oh, Jarrett's had plenty of fights. He knows that. So he's well aware of that. He's a young killer coming up through the ranks. But that's what I say to the amateur guys and to people that want to think about fighting. Yeah, it's fun and fucking oath. Get in there and have a go, but take it seriously because it's going to be real and you're going to be standing in front of a guy that has been training to take you out. And yeah, that's it.
And you got to be better.
You got to be better. You got to take it serious.
I don't know, man, but like it must, in a weird way, feel good that like you lost a Volk, but now he's the pound for pound. Yeah. You know, it's like, well, yeah, at least I'm glad he got that far. Like, I lost to the best of the best.
Yeah. And it was a good fight. Like, it was a really good fight.
Yeah. Did it go the full 3 rounds or he got you in the second, didn't he?
No, he got me in the first.
Got in the first.
He put me out pretty quick. I put up a fight for sure, but he dominated. He's a savage.
What did you immediately notice about him when it started? Was just like his sheer power or speed or both?
Very fast. I remember.
Yeah.
Like this is years ago, but I remember he was very, very quick.
It's hitting different.
I reckon that's what's going to be a massive difference in the Islam fight too.
The speed.
Yeah.
I think that I heard Joe Rogan say that, and I was like, "Fuck, yeah." Islam's big and he's strong, but that 4 kilo difference in them, where we know that Alex can handle himself against bigger guys. He was a bigger guy, but the speed I think is going to shock Islam a bit. I hope it will.
I think especially because he's put on the muscle mass and then we're going to maybe see a faster Volk than we've seen in the last few fights.
Faster and more powerful. It's fucking.
It's hard to believe, but.
Well, that's one thing, man. Like you can never count him out ever. That was actually one of my questions. I'll ask both of you this. Like, let's talk predictions for that card. You know, like. What are your predictions for UFC 284? I mean, I'm just so pumped to that whole event. Like, wow. What do you think?
Such a big event. I'm going to take Volk for a 4th or 5th round finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you're feeling?
Yeah, I think he can finish it in the later rounds or win the decision. You know, the fight may end up staying on the feet. If Islam can't take him down, he might have to, fight it out on the feet against Volk.
You think that? I mean, that's obviously going to be Volk's strategy, especially to stay off the ground in the first round when they're still dry, right? Like, because he's going to be really wary of the wrestling game. Am I right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but I don't think he's like. That he's not scared of it, you know. Okay. Volk is he's a very, very hard guy to hold down. So I think that, and he understands how the Dagestani guys wrestle.
Yeah,
like he understands how they go, and he's like, you ask anyone that trains with him. He's so fucking hard to hold down. I know it's Islam. I understand that. He's a next level guy, but I don't think he's going to be like he's not. And that's another composure. You'll see Alex staying composed in these situations. I guarantee it. I guarantee he's not going to panic and do something that gives Islam a next transition or gives his neck or something. Like he's so fucking composed.
It's amazing, eh?
And then obviously his physical ability, I think he'll really. I think it's a good fight for him.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, it amazes me how relaxed he is. Like even in the Max Holloway 3 fight, he just immediately just looks so relaxed, and you just could see how this game plan set up, and he was sticking to it, and wasn't making any, making any mistakes, and just sticking to the game plan. And it was just like wow, and he just picked him apart. Him apart. So good. I want to sort of pry a little bit with going back to your role in that card. I mean, how how certain are you that you're going to get someone to fight? Like, I mean, do you speak with Dana White and stuff like that?
No, usually it's just my manager speaks to Sean Shelby. He's my matchmaker.
Okay.
And yeah, we're
pretty
on.
certain.
We're on.
There's fighters out there.
Yeah. Someone's going to take that fight.
What's the delay, you reckon?
I have no idea. I thought everyone would be jumping at the opportunity to come out for a fucking trip out to Australia and fight, but yeah, I got no idea.
I think it's because they don't want to travel.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, some guys would like maybe be a bit intimidated fighting a guy in their home crowd. Possibly. I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, they know they're in for a fight. When you fight Jamie, you're in for a fight. Like,
and
they're probably.
I think the Aussie crowds are pretty rowdy
wild,
too. Yeah.
yeah.
I reckon it's an intimidating place to walk out to, especially with all the guys out of our country doing so well in the sport now.
Yeah, it's amazing, hey. Yeah, it's such an amazing thing to see, and like even just at the gym, like, I mean, aside from you and Volk, and there's like, you know, Colby, Jarrett, who else is Justin's got fights coming up. Everyone in February, Amina,
Maddie,
your friend Maddie.
Yeah,
like so many people have got all these, you know, up and coming fights, and it's really exciting. And for me, as someone who's not a competitive fighter at all, and just an enthusiast of the training and whatever, it's just to be around that energy is just it's so good, man. It's so exciting and fun. And I often tell my friends that like hanging out with fighters is like hanging out with skateboarders or surfers. It's because it's like, you know, your conversations around like breaking things down. You know, should I move my foot this way? You know, what's this going to look like? And you know, you're just problem solving constantly. You know, and it's so good. So anyway.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about training down with these guys. It's like an hour of training, and then you get almost another hour of sitting on the mats after going over everything.
You get a seminar.
It's like you get Volk in the lobby, fucking showing you how he's getting up out of positions, and it's like that. That's that obsession. That's what you want to be around. And
that's where it's an art. That's why it's a martial art. You can see the art, and it's, I don't know, it's almost like it's a black art because it's never going to be perfected, is it? You know, there's so many variables to consider, right? You know.
So we might see after, you know, Alex takes out Islam, the Dagestani wrestling's been so dominant. Maybe this is the turn of the tide that we see. There's a way to counter it.
Yeah.
Because they've changed the whole sport. The way Khabib fought, everyone basically went back and started working on all their wrestling, their takedown defense. Like, just because of those guys, the game's evolved.
How much of it you reckon is because they're training at altitude? You know, they're training at altitude. Yeah. Dagestan's at altitude, it's high. So there's less oxygen in the air, and they're training in that constantly.
Yeah.
I
wonder why is that why they're so strong? I don't know.
Could be the fucking USADA over there turning a blind eye to
Yeah.
Is that true?
They're too hard to
I
find.
don't know, man. I'm not going to say that, but I am saying that. Like,
Well, you don't think they're tested as often as some fighters?
I don't. Well, just going from there, like, have you seen the doco Icarus?
Oh, no, I haven't.
I've seen it, yeah.
Oh, man.
I've got to watch it.
That's how Russia cheated the Olympics. They're known for passing some fucking roids under the table and getting their athletes to be the best athletes in the world. And the USADA, as far as I know, there's USADA like representatives in every country. So those guys would be fucking let know, I'm coming to see you in 3 weeks. So I reckon.
Did you
I don't know.
But
I seen a video of Islam the other day talking about when he was like 14, 15 and they would just give him vitamins. Did you see that?
Vitamins.
Yeah. He'd wake up every day and whoever it was, they'd be like, take these vitamins. It was just him saying it. Like, I'm not misquoting. It's his words. What was in the vitamin?
Yeah, I saw Bobby Green. He had an interview before his last fight the other week.
That guy.
And he was like, I've moved with thousands of guys in my life, and he felt different. And he was just like, what the fuck? Like, they're bred into this stuff. they get given, like, it makes sense, right? I reckon there's something. Maybe if he's not on it now, he's 100% been on it. Like him and Khabib and that. Like, I don't like to badmouth someone when I don't know.
Yeah.
But I have very high suspicion in that.
Yeah. But then there's a part of me, I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. They're deeply religious people.
Yeah.
And ethically it would go against their religion. So that's a factor to consider.
They seem like good people, eh? Like
they are.
They're very respectful, but fuck.
But he didn't know what was in the vitamins.
And vitamins are tricky, man. I mean, does anyone know what's in it?
He was just doing what he was told, eating what he got fed.
Yeah. Nah. Okay. No, it's interesting perspective to hear. So
Down the rabbit hole.
It is a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It is a rabbit hole, but
Who
I don't
knows?
know. I don't know. So when you were going through your 20s, it's just for you, like you said you did a trade.
Yeah.
So you started your trade around what, 16, 17?
Yeah, I was 17.
What was it in?
Plumbing.
And how many years did you do that for? Pete's a plumber. That's why they call him Pete the plumber.
Bloody, yeah, 7 years.
Plumber's
7
crack.
years I was plumbing.
Wait, 7 years?
Yeah.
And training and fighting.
Yep.
Wow, man. Grinding it out.
Yeah. No, when it didn't feel like a grind, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
There's some days after a big day on the shovel, and then getting back home and going to the gym. But I don't know. When you're young, you don't think about that shit. You're just doing it.
Well, what stage did you let the plumbing go then?
When I had my first UFC fight.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
And that was the thing. I took that fight, and I wasn't even training as a full-time fighter. So I feel like the development in these last couple of years has been fucking huge.
I can imagine.
Yeah, huge. Like as an athlete, you know what I mean? Giving the body the rest, the recovery, training two to three times a day is massive. The growth I've felt has just been massive.
Yeah. So it's like you've gone all in now on the professional career. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, is it sustaining you an income because there's a lot of talk about UFC, fighters' pay.
Yeah.
Is it enough to keep you going between fights?
Yeah, it's enough to keep me going with where I'm at, and you kind of. I feel like whenever I've been in life, you go to what you make, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean?
You live to what you can afford, literally.
Okay, yeah.
You
like the more you have, the more you spend too.
Yeah, 100%. But it's okay. But like I think that's the thing. Starting in any organization, any company, when you think about it, you start small and you work your way up.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's my plan.
Do they support you in between fights in terms of medical, maybe training costs and stuff like that, or is that all on you? Yeah,
no, they do. They'll support you. They'll pay for the UFC would treat me really good.
Yeah.
They cover medical bills and things like that. Well, I actually had neck surgery as soon as I made the UFC.
Oh right.
Yeah, it was like kind of good timing.
They paid for it.
Yeah, they just paid for it. Because it was obviously it was going to happen regardless. I was just years and years of training, and I got a bulged disc, and that was leading into my second UFC fight.
Cervical spine?
Yes.
The top part, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they covered that, so I felt like really, really grateful. Really
was that just from repetitive strain?
Yeah.
It wasn't just like a one-off injury, it wasn't a one-off event that caused it?
No, it was just constant. Your spine can creates pattern. Yeah, I think it was just years and years of not looking after myself.
Yeah.
And then you fucking finally find out one day you got to start... Yeah, investing a little bit of time and money into yourself.
This might be a cliche thing to ask, but How do you feel about sustaining concussions? Is it something that you really worry about, the damage that's causing or the long-term damage?
If you're training wrong, I would.
What do you mean wrong?
Like if you're having gym wars every single week,
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend that at all.
Yeah.
I've never trained like that.
Okay.
Definitely in camp, sparring gets hard, right? Like you start sparring harder, but yeah, you don't like you train with people that you trust and that aren't gonna do that shit. That aren't gonna try to take your head off. Because we're helping each other, you know what I mean? So, and like Joe's big on that. Like health before anything else. But yeah, if you're training wrong, like I see it more in boxing, eh?
Well, they're just getting regular hits in the head.
Oh, bro, boxers spar like quite often. I think I don't know, but yeah. If they're sparring like 2 to 3 times a week, and the way they spar, the head knocks, like. Yeah, you don't want to be doing that.
Yeah. So you kind of feel at peace with the fact that, yeah, you are going to sustain concussions, but it's generally around fight time.
Exactly.
And it's not week in, week out.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like accidents happen in the gym for sure, but yeah, it's definitely not a regular occurrence for me. It never has been.
It's not something that's deterring you from continuing.
No way. No way. I'm already ugly, so I can keep copping a few knocks here and there. Rough look.
Can I ask you a question? Do you see like UFC as an investment for after you finish and leave, that it will set you up with maybe like going around and giving advice to fighters or kids, or maybe even starting your own gym? Do you see like life after the UFC being financially beneficial to you?
Yeah, for sure. It depends what you want to do, right? Like I don't know. I think about it a lot, and I don't know if I want to start my own gym. I would love to one day. And yeah, if that's what you want to do, for sure. Like I think, like speaking about your experiences, like even what we're doing now, but to like younger kids and that's unreal. That like quite fulfilling as well.
Yeah,
but you could definitely make an income and set yourself up.
Yeah, like I do notice. It seems like the youth growing up today, they're really lacking like positive male figures, or like a masculine people to show them the way. Like back in my hometown, there's a lot of kids running around with knives, gangs and that sort of thing. And, you know, you talk to them about UFC, they wouldn't even really know what it is. They're so caught up in their world of crime. And I kind of feel like it's our responsibility to be like, hey, there's something beyond that.
Yeah.
And like your story in itself is like going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, nah, for sure, man. And it's something that I have thought about. Like we'll see. For now, it's fighting, and then man, maybe when I'm hanging up the gloves, I will want to go around and talk to young youth, troubled youth. That'd be fucking sick. That'd be unreal. Because I know guys that have done that haven't even like been at the. Been in that spotlight as well, and it can really make a difference, man. So for sure it's something I'm going to think about. But
at the time, like now with fighting, you like to go real tunnel vision in on just that one thing, right?
Yeah. I think that you want to put all your energy into one thing at a time, but for sure you do want to think about life after fighting as well, like because you see so many guys that finish fighting and they get a little bit like lost in what they want to do because it's all they've ever known. So it's important, and I feel like that's us learning off them guys. You know what I mean? You learn off those that older generation that they were fucking tough as nails, and it teaches you to set yourself up for after fighting. Fighting's just a part of life. It ain't life; it's just a part of life.
Yeah, it's good questions, and it kind of leads into something I wanted to ask you as well. Like, what is the end? And Jarrett's kind of already asked it, but what is the end game? You know, when do you feel like you're going to know it's time to hang up the gloves?
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like it's a double-edged sword, because when you're getting to that point of your career, you got to think about your health, your family, first and foremost. But then it's also the most you're ever going to be getting paid. You know what I mean? That's the fight life. You work your way up, and then when you're at the end of your career, that's when you're making the most money. So I 100% understand guys that keep hanging in there for another fight, and yeah, it'd be a tough decision to make. But you gotta choose health over that. I feel. Wow. I will anyway, because health is number one.
Nice, man. Yeah, I and again, I love the line of questioning that Jarrett was asking, because I ask all my guests this, and I kind of come out with this question because over the last few years, I'm at that stage in my life where people are passing away around me. I've had to go to a lot of funerals, for some reason, and I'm listening to eulogies and stuff, and they're talking about the legacies of these people. And I know it sounds like a morbid thing, just bear with me. But it got me thinking, it's like, well, what do I want to be remembered for? Like, what do I want my legacy to be left in this world to be? So I don't know if you've ever thought of that, but what do you feel like you want to be remembered for?
Oh, man, I reckon that's what every, man should think about when they're about to die. Like, you look back on your life, are you going to be happy with your life? And I want to be, I guess I want to just be a good person, and be number one, a family man. That's how I see myself being. But yeah, you definitely kind of don't know exactly how to answer the question. But
it's a tough question.
You 100% looking back on your life, that's you have to be happy with what you've done, what you've left in this life. Yeah. Sorry, bro.
No, like, dude, it's like one of the hardest questions in the world, but I also think it is a really good question to consider, because it can really shape how you decide to conduct yourself as a human being and the decisions you make. And it's really changed my perspective. And a lot of the funerals I went to, I didn't hear anyone ever talk about the cars or the property or the things that person owned.
Yeah.
All I ever heard at these funerals was oh man, he loved his kids.
Yeah.
And gee, oh man, he was always out, in nature. He loved to fish.
Yeah.
He loved having a few beers with his mates and having a laugh.
Human things.
Yeah.
Being human.
Yeah, but don't you feel like we just get so caught up in all that other bullshit?
Yeah, bro.
But then and that's why I love hanging out with you guys, is because you just purely have put that shit aside, and that shit may come as a byproduct of what you're doing.
Yeah.
But at your heart and soul, it's like you're into this activity.
Yeah.
You love to train. You love to push himself.
Yeah.
These are really human things that you're doing.
For sure. And you put those things first, then, like you said, the rest will come. But it shouldn't be the most, the shit you get caught up in. I
don't know, because I'm I'm 46 next week, and I'm everyone that I've seen chasing that shit either lose it in some way or they're fucking miserable, and I was maybe one of those people that thought all that shit was going to make me happy, and I chased it, and I thought that I was going to be okay, and I wanted that security and all that, but it's just...
It's nothing.
It's just something I've learned.
It's nothing, yeah.
Who were your biggest supporters in life around you?
My mum and my dad, for sure. Yeah. No, they've always backed me, everything that I do. Always been there. Mum, when I first started training, she was out every single arvo, taking me to training. Dad, obviously, worked the hardest working man I've ever known.
They weren't concerned about you getting hurt and things like that?
Yeah, for sure. That stuff came in. I think they started so scared, and then as they seen that I can do it and I'm good at it, they were like, oh fuck, this is mad. So they started getting into it.
Does your mum watch your fights?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
Does your mum watch yours, Jarrett?
No,
she can't do it.
No,
I get it.
I don't want her to. I don't want to put her through that stress.
Yeah.
it's a hard thing. Like even the last fight, like going out the driveway, see ya, I'll be back soon. She's just doing hobbies around the house. That's why she wanted me to ask Alex like if his parents watched his fights, but I can get to ask you.
Yeah.
I don't think she should have to. Like,
No.
but you went on a tear, 9-0. Your parents would have a lot of confidence in your ability.
Yeah, well, it's a personal thing, right? Like it's if you can do that, but for sure, if you if it's gonna throw you out, I wouldn't want to put my mum through that if she was like that. But she watches, she understands that it's safe enough.
Yeah,
I guess. As fucked up as that is to say.
I don't know. The more I watch it, I don't know if I've been desensitized, but I see the safety in it, especially with like good quality referees, but also no one who steps into a ring, well, rarely, but most people that step into a ring have trained so fucking hard just to be there in the first place. So they are going to be able to look after themselves to a certain degree, you know. Yeah, you can get clipped. Anyone can get clipped, right? But they're there for a reason, and they've trained for it. So
that's what inspires me the most about you, Jamie. Like watching your fights in the UFC. Like I've watched your fights before I met you, but it's like your will and determination and your ability to put yourself in the pocket, like in the danger zone, knowing that you're going to come out on top. Like even that fight with Michael Johnson, like I think he has like the quickest hands in the lightweight division. And your game and his game is so similar, but you were like, all right, I believe in my ability. Let's do it. Let's see who comes out on top.
Yeah.
And you won the fight. That's why like I've respected you so much with the way that you fight mentally. That's why when I get to spar you in the gym, I'm like, this is so cool, man. Because I knew Alex before he was in the UFC. But with you, like, you're someone that I've watched, and then you come into the gym, and it was like a real cooler feeling in a way,
Oh, that's cool, man. I appreciate that heaps. Thanks for that. But that's how it is, eh?
That's why I think you'll go big, man, because you're an entertaining fighter to watch. Never a boring fight when you're in it, man.
Cheers, bro.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Did you ever meet Bruce Buffer?
Yeah.
What's he like?
He's fucking cool as, man. He's cool.
I'm just curious. Such a pimp with those, like, they're just his jackets and, like, because I'm into, like, this sort of shit. It's like his voice is so rad.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, mate.
What's he like? Is he a weirdo?
He's a don.
He just looks like a don.
Has the suit on, just walking around like, fuck.
You see him backstage and shit?
Yeah, you just know he's the shit, eh? Just a don.
I just kind of feel like he's the kind of guy that, you know, if you go to you just walk into a casino in Vegas and he'll be there at the blackjack table with a bunch of chicks around him.
High roller.
With his sparkling white teeth.
Are they really that white in real life?
Yeah, right.
Like he's had them done.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know. I just feel like he's got mafia connections as well. I don't know.
How was it his brother was the, you remember the boxing announcer that, are you ready to rumble?
Oh, is that his brother?
You probably get copyright for that. But he didn't know that was his brother. Like he found out later in life that he had a father and brother, and they reached out to him, and then he became the UFC announcer.
He's from a family of announcers.
So he found that out before he became the UFC announcer.
Yeah.
So that must have like
triggered it, and then he was like, I want to be like my brother. When he met later in life, when he was like fully grown man.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
No way. Hey, you know Bruce Buffer's got a podcast?
Does he?
Yeah. He's got his own podcast, Talk to Fighters.
Shout out Bruce
Who would have
Buffer.
thought?
Yeah.
There you go.
You should do documentaries like David Attenborough, that voice.
He's got the craziest voice. I mean, I get goosebumps when he announces, dude. He does do an amazing job, eh?
The passion.
Yeah.
The passion. The 360 Buffer.
Dude, the 360 Buffer? What do you mean?
Oh, he's been in there like screaming his head off. think he might have done it with Brock Lesnar or something. And he fucking just jumps in a full circle on the spot.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, when he announces it,
Yeah, the 360 buffer. It's
Dude.
fucking intense.
I don't know. Like, I'm just inspired by anyone that puts 1,000% into whatever they do. And, like, that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, he does his job and he does it as
Amen.
well, you know.
Amen.
No shortcuts here.
I wonder, like, fights, how they would have been if he wasn't around, because it would give you, like, that adrenaline, right? And
Yeah.
fights would be more crazy because he hypes it up so well.
Yeah, especially at that main event, eh?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like that feeling
Yeah.
you get. It's special.
I mean, how much can the UFC thank him? Like, I mean, as part of their growth. You know, he's probably been a pretty integral part of
Yeah,
the actual
massive.
the growth and the excitement around it.
How will they replace him after he's gone?
I know. Well, there's the other guy that does it, but this is
It's
the
not
thing.
the same.
Like, I don't even know his
Yeah.
name, but like he's pretty good.
Yeah, they'll probably come around. But like, I find crazy how many events he makes. He's had fucking so many.
Yeah.
Like,
It just he gets to him, hey.
like even before the UFC was pumping him out as much as they are, like to go to that many events, like in 1 year, that would take it out of you. Eh?
Absolutely.
And surely they have to sacrifice a lot, eh?
You reckon he doesn't?
I reckon.
Let's face it. It might be the best job on earth, though. He doesn't have to do much.
Oh, for sure.
Come on.
It's still
Like,
a good,
he
it's a
just-
good life and a good lifestyle. But like, I don't know. Would he be able to have a family and? I don't
Yeah,
know.
true.
That's
I wonder what he gets paid.
He'd have all the money in the world already. You know, he could retire now.
But that's from coordinating the mafia and shit.
Yeah.
What about okay, another random question. Who's your favourite commentator in the UFC?
I reckon Mike Bisping.
Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah.
I love Bisping. I
Yeah.
love his fucking humour.
Yeah.
His rawness, like how
He's
real he
raw.
is.
Yeah.
I reckon he's the baddest motherfucker that's fought in the UFC.
He was tough, man.
Oh, dude.
Like nasty tough.
Just even his personality, he always wants to like go. He always wants to, even like when he's at he's like that on the commentating table or like on the show table where they're doing the show. He's just like, he picks at people all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Like, heavyweights and shit. He just picks at you. It's like,
And he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Well, how tall's that guy? Like 6'3" or something. He's actually
He's a
tall,
big dude,
but
eh?
solid.
Yeah. Him and Dominic Cruz, whenever they're on together,
Oh,
they go
mate.
back and forth, tit for
Mate.
tat.
Do they?
So good.
There's more to that because like Ross is good mates with both of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, he trained at Alliance with Dom and trained at these Pommy mates with Bisping and that. And Dom told us that they've come close to throwing hands. And Dom's like a little tough little Mexican. He ain't backing down. And since he told me all the backstory, and he's like, I fucking don't like him. We don't get on and shit.
No
Since
way.
I heard that, now I hear them commentating and they're like arguing while they're commentating and shit. So fucking funny, man.
Who's your favourite? You've already told me. Joe Rogan.
I said
yeah.
Rogan, but John Anik does such a good job,
He's
doesn't
my
he?
personal
They're all
favourite.
good, man.
He
Just
holds
so
it together real well.
Yeah. DC is good. Just because I like DC as a fighter as well. But
It's mad that they've got more like intelligent fighters coming through, like more not
What
more
do you mean?
intelligent, but like fighters, real fighters that have been there and done that.
and now commentating. Yeah.
So good.
they
Because
bring
I learn when I watch fights, like Paul Felder and Mike Bisping, Dominic Cruz, all these guys explaining things that I would never have even thought.
They're legit. Yeah.
Best guys in the world.
Yeah. Who are some of your favourite fighters or fighters that are in the UFC that you've really got an eye on?
My favourite fighter was Forrest Griffin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I was pretty starstruck when I met him. Actually, that was cool.
Okay.
He was my OG favourite fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who I've really got an eye on, and I just love watching his fights, is that Spanish guy, Ilia Topuria.
Yeah, he's good.
I just kind of feel like that guy is going to be the next big superstar. Like, there's something about him. He's a savage, but he's
a bad
so
guy.
fucking fit.
He's got to get past
Fast.
Volk.
I know, that's what I mean. But still, like, he's someone to keep an eye on, man.
It makes the division interesting. Yeah.
He's strong and he strikes hard and he can wrestle. I don't know. There's something. I don't know, someone to think about.
Yeah. Those Georgian motherfuckers, they ain't playing. They're real bad cunts.
The Georgians from that area of Spain.
Yeah, man. They're proper, like, that's why I laugh when Paddy's talking shit to me. I was like, mate, he'll murder you. He'll actually kill you.
The Spanish are pretty gnarly people. I remember years ago I ran with the Bulls, went to the running of the Bulls in Pamplona. Yeah, man. And I'll never ever forget this. Like, mind you, I'd been on a bender all night, didn't sleep, and then you run in the morning with the Bulls. So I got one eye going that way, one eye going that way. Probably had my last beer like 10 minutes ago. In the streets getting ready to line up, and then I'll never forget this. The Spanish police came through to clear the streets for the event. And they, like, it wasn't just like, okay, everyone, clear the streets now. It was just full force. Like, batons out, just poking everyone, men, women, old ladies, poking them in the back with their batons, like, and they were just fucking terrifying. Like, it makes Australian police look so nice.
Yeah.
These guys are fucking... And just to clear the streets, like, for something that was a legal event. Like, there was nothing... It wasn't even a riot. And I was like, imagine it was a riot. You know, and then here's another story that just hit me. When we were actually running with the Bulls, I'll never forget this. There's like a bull herder that runs with a stick. And, like, it's pretty easy to avoid the Bulls, but... people want to fuck with the Bulls, and, you know, so they get close to them. I'll never forget the bull herder. He had no hesitation with just smacking people in the face with his stick. I'm just like, these guys are fucking gnarly. Anyway, there's a memory for you. There's a memory. Yeah, man.
That's fucking cool.
Dude, it's been epic. I mean, and it's a real treat having you on the show, Jamie.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm stoked.
Nah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, man.
This was cool.
Yeah. You, how do you, sorry, one more question.
Is it talk to me, bro? Is that the one?
Yeah, we're gonna talk. Well, I'll ask you that. Yeah, talk to me, bro. We'll talk about that in a second. But I was gonna ask you, like, you know, how do you feel about doing media? I've seen your press conference and stuff. I know, like, is it just something you go, well, I have to do as part of my job? But do you enjoy it?
No, I do enjoy it, especially on fight week.
Yeah.
Like, I tell you what, I enjoy good media where the camera's on and they're asking and you're talking to someone. I fucking hate when like some newspapers or whatever, they call you up and they ask you a question and it's like not recorded and stuff, and you gotta... I hate that shit. I hate talking to people and then they word they word questions and your answers differently, and they make you sound like a dickhead. That's happened to me on the paper and shit. I'm like, fuck.
Like, I didn't say that like that.
Yeah, it didn't come out as that at all. And then even the headlines. I'm like, fuck. I told a guy in the newspaper once that I used to with being obsessed with the sport when I was young, as we all have, you YouTube techniques and learn them, and I just mentioned that. And he fucking... I don't think it was... I swear it was the headline. I think he headlined it. Jamie Mullarkey explained, like... and he said that I got myself to the UFC by looking at fucking YouTube. Like, started as a YouTube teaching himself.
Fucking clickbait. That's
that shit I hate. But I really enjoy fight week media. It gives you something to be excited for. Yeah, like gets you excited for the fight.
Fucking journalists give me the shits. That's why I say this a lot. I think unedited podcasts such as this one are the most pure form of media. Like, I mean,
it's having a chat.
It is. And also, like, I don't have any bias. No one owns me, you know, and I don't edit, or very little, unless, like, it's someone fucking, you know, there's a chainsaw goes off in the background or stuff like that. But it's like it is what it is. You said what you said, and it's just in its most pure form. Yeah. And I just, it leads, for me, it's just a bit of a sore point for me, because I just feel like the media perpetuate so many problems in our society. And I think they perpetuate a lot of poor mental health. They really do. They create fear. They create anxiety.
Yeah, fear-mongering. And it's all driven by money and profits. That's why that dickhead journalist has put a heading like that, because it's clickable. Yeah.
And if it's like, and they just want to get those clicks, and the more clicks, the more money.
Yeah,
anyway,
man.
Sorry.
I 100% agree. It's bullshit.
But listen, man, I ask all guests to come to the podcast with like a cause they want to support or advocate for. So what do you got for us today?
Man, give a shout out to Talk to Me, bro.
Yes,
that's a really good to see, and it's changing. I feel like mental health awareness. It's becoming more aware and like to our eyes. But yeah, man, shed some light on that and fucking talk to your mates.
Yeah, that's it. And I think the culture's changing, and I think there's a lot of talk about toxic masculinity, but then we talk to dudes like you who could be considered like it's quite a masculine thing you do, but you're like, yeah, man, let's talk about our feelings. Tell your mates you love them and want to support a cause. Like I don't think you realize like how much just by doing that you're shifting the culture, bro. So thank you.
Nah, cheers.
Yeah, so I've had the president of Talk to Me Bro on the show, Jack Brown. I've had him on a couple of times. It's all about suicide prevention because men are overrepresented in suicide data in our country and around the world, and he's trying to change that. So, and his team also working really hard. So yeah, man, thanks, man. And a big thanks to Jarrett Wilbraham, brother. Thank you for joining us today.
I'm honoured to be sitting here next to Jamie, so thank you.
Yes,
good group of lads, man.
And yeah, great asset to have at the gym, bro. So pleasure to meet you.
Bring on UFC 284, and thank you, Peter Balmer, for shooting the episode. I love having him around. He's a good vibe. So yeah, man, bring on UFC 284. Fuck yeah, we having a watch party, Jarrett?
I think the gym will be having a watch party, yeah. So
you'll be at your fight, won't you?
That's a few weeks after.
A few weeks after.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because this was 24th of February.
Yeah.
Around there. Yeah. All right, man. Let's do this. Thank you, gentlemen. You.